I'm having a bit of a Ross moment with the tan because I neglected to count Mississippi-lessly, so let's just talk about August before it gets worse. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I am taking you through the books that my TBR game has picked out for me for August. In the beginning of 2025, I devised a friends-based TBR game where I was going to assign a prompt to every single episode from Friends, and for those prompts, I was going to read a book. I have been playing this for about 8 months now, and I have had medium success with this TBR game. Except for last month. I actually did pretty well with my TBR last month. More on that to follow in a couple of weeks. So let's see if we can build on that for August. I always pick out 5 episodes that I am going to read a book connected to, and sometimes there's going to be something connected to the month. For example, June is usually my birthday, November is going to be Thanksgiving based, December is Christmas based, but for August there wasn't really anything that I could tie in, so all 5 of these books are going to be picked by a random generator. So let's see what the first one was. First up is the one where Rachel was late, for which you need to read a book that you are late to reading or that you have been continuously putting off. I am going to go back to it for I think maybe the 4th time this year, and I am going to put on So Thrilled for You by Hollyborn. I have meant to read this about 4 months now. I have been trying to put this on TBRs so often, and this genuinely has to be the time. I've heard some really good things about this. I love Hollyborn's writing. I absolutely loved her YA stuff while I was in my YA era, but she's also written a lot of great books for adult readers, including this one. This is about a group of 4 women who were all best friends at university, and their lives have gone in slightly different directions now, but they're all still quite close with one another. One of them, Charlotte, is pregnant and they are planning a baby shower for her, but different circumstances have met the women. One of them is struggling with motherhood. One of them really wants to be a mother but is struggling to become pregnant. Charlotte isn't entirely sure that she ever wanted to be pregnant in the first place. And the 4th isn't sure motherhood is the journey for her and feels really left behind from her other friends. I am so intrigued as to what's going to happen in this book, and I think now has to be the time to pick it up. Next out was the one with the soap opera party, where you need to read a celebrity romance. I have gone with a brand new release in Dream On Ramona Riley by Ashley Herring Blake. I absolutely lived and breathed the Bright Falls trilogy, but Make the Season Bright was a dud for me. I am truly hoping that this is a return to form for Ashley Herring Blake, and because it's a small town romance, which is something that I feel like she writes really well, hopefully this is a step back in the right direction. This is following Ramona Riley, whose life has always been very quiet and mundane. She's working in a local cafe, and life has always kind of passed her by. Until one day, a big Hollywood production enters the town, and one of the stars of the movie is Dylan Monroe. Dylan was Ramona's first crush and first kiss when they were both teenagers. And Dylan is out to prove that she isn't just some nepo baby. She always did have that talent that has gotten her where she is, and she's determined to really make an impact with this movie. So much so that she's doing a little bit of method acting. She's going to actually work in a cafe in the town so that she can accurately portray a waitress on screen. And this is where Ramona comes into the story, because Dylan is going to be working beside Ramona for the entire filming schedule. This sounds kind of like a second chance romance, which isn't usually the thing for me. But it's a second chance romance that I think is going to work for me because it's not a traditional second chance. These people weren't really together. They had like one kiss while they were teenagers, and now they're both women in their 20s or 30s. So I feel like this is moving on a little bit further. So hopefully this is going to be a real return to form for Ashley Herring Blake for me. Next out was the one with fertility test, where you need to read a book that involves a big decision, and I cannot think of a bigger decision than the one that is in Nesting by Roisin O'Donnell. This is following Kira, who in a split-second decision takes her two children, and escapes with them from the home of her abusive husband, Aidan. I am so intrigued by this book, and I've heard so many people have been absolutely loving this one. This is a debut novel from someone who has previously won awards for short story writing, so I know that she has got a fantastic writing style. It's just time that I introduce myself to it. Next out was The One with Princess Consuela. For this, you need to read a book with royalty on the title or with royalty as a theme. For this one, I'm going with Majesty by Catherine McGee. This is the second book of the American Royal series, and I read the first one back in January or February as a kind of a lead in to reading my favourite books from the last 5 years vlog. I did this to celebrate 5 years on BookTube, and I was really hooked once again by this world. This is set in an alternate universe where instead of becoming president after the Civil War, George Washington becomes a king. I think this is a really interesting book to read at this moment, and I am so interested to see how Beatrice is going to go as the first queen regnant in the US. Finally, for the one with the hypnosis tape, you need to read a self improvement book. I am going to stare myself in the mirror, give myself a stern talking to, and read How to Break Up with Your Phone by Catherine Price. This is a book that I desperately need to read because I have got a severe addiction to my phone. It's always in my hands, it is always right by my side, and I think that the time is now to actually break some of those habits. I'm really hoping that this is going to go kind of deeper into the ways that you can break a phone addiction, not just put it in a different room, not just lock it away for an hour. I want this to actually change my life and to actively change my phone usage habits. Those are 5 of the books that I am hopefully going to have read by the end of August 2025. What is a book that you would love to concentrate on for August this year? If you'd love to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me an autumn leaf emoji because hopefully the weather is going to start turning a little bit colder in August. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.